Hi everybody, it's Kiara. How are you? It is Thursday, February 20th, 2025. I was going to come back earlier in the week, but I wound up with, well, now I can say it, I wound up with an unexpected vacation week. I live in Northwest Arkansas and we got hit with a storm, and as you can tell, I am not from Arkansas, but they don't really know how, they're not equipped to deal with a snowstorm. I think in the city of Springdale, we have 2 or 3 snow flat plows for a massive sized town. We're not a large town. There's only about 90,000 people that live here, but they're not equipped to plow snow. We went up with about 4 inches. They were predicting like this massive thing. It wasn't a massive thing. The only thing is it's bitterly cold yesterday, today, and by tomorrow it should be warming up. But my husband went to the store today. He said the roads are a mess. There's one street that's completely clean, and it's a major artery in the state. It goes from here to Oklahoma. It's a straight run to Tulsa from here. So that road's clear. The highway's beginning to get clear, but my street in front of me, we don't ever see a snowplow. The sun's gonna melt it. Our street out a little bit. We live off a main road, but not really near a main road. We live on secondary and tertiary roads, so we don't see anything. It's not, I know there were towns in Arkansas that their schools were open, but you had to drive your kids to some school bus. That's not going to work here. And my little road, there's no way that a school bus can come down it. So I wound up with some time off. So I've been in here quilting and doing other stuff. I've done some cross stitch. I've done a couple DAR things. I have to do one tonight. That's why we have this weird shadow, because this was like the best time, because I am getting paid for the time off, but I had to do personal development in my time off. And this one class, it wasn't that it was hard, because I took the pretest and I bombed the pretest. Not that I didn't know what was on the pretest, but because I had taken some training not too long ago that dealt with the same things, but the training I did used totally different terms than this course did. So I went from a failing grade to a 95 with one question wrong. So I'm not upset about it. So I had to do this training, and with having kids at home, it just took all day. So I didn't really get in here. I did a couple things this morning. I have a Zoom meeting at 7 o'clock with my DIR ladies. So all that to say is life's been crazy. I've enjoyed having the time off. I'm kind of ready to get out of my house. But it's not too bad. Last weekend, I got work done, but I didn't get a huge amount done because my baby girl was home from Texas for a few days. She wound up having last Friday and Monday off, for President's Day. So she's like, hey, I'm going to come up and watch the Daytona 500, and then I'll go back. So she went back Monday morning before the weather ever hit. But it's super cold in Waco too. We miss her. She'll be home in a few more days after she defends her thesis. So she'll be home for spring break then in about 2 weeks. So we're excited. We can't wait to see her. So I didn't do a lot last weekend, but I've been doing a lot since she left. Because I did have Monday off because the teachers had a personal development day. So I didn't have to work on Monday, but I had to do stuff the rest of the week. So there's that. So let's jump into what I've been doing. I forgot to bring one thing in here, but you've already seen it. All I did was the Christmas quilt. I put binding on it, and I'll insert a picture at the end of it so you can see it with its binding. But what else did I do? Okay. Well, let's start with Vintage Christmas. Vintage Christmas is from, my book's not over here. It's from the Lori Holt Vintage Christmas book. The Fat Quarter Shop is having a sew-along. And as you know, I'm working off my February to-do list. So let me show you my February quilt goals. Here are my February quilt goals, okay? Quite a few have been crossed off. So, okay, hold on. Let me open this. Okay, so I had showed you the manger block. So here's the manger block. This one was this. And then I did 2 other of the January blocks, and I cut out the 4th one, and I might try to do the 4th one today, and then I'm going to pick out my fabric for the February blocks and starch it so I can work on that, because March is a crazy month. So here's the candy cane block. I love how this was so many, it's not that it was hard, it was just so many little pieces. And then this is called the candy swirl block. This one was blessedly easy to do. Okay, now I have to show you my back on this because look how perfect that back is. And these are 6.5-inch blocks, so they're teeny tiny. I'm using a combination of my stash and a hometown holiday bundle that I had bought just for this. So I've done blocks 1, 2, and 3 for that. And I have the candle block cut out. That has got 7 zillion little pieces. I watch a cross stitcher called the Periwinkle Stitcher. Her name is Shawn. She lives in Wales. She does the most beautiful Lori Holt quilts. And she's doing this. And even she's like, it took me like 2 hours to do this whole thing. So it's for the candle block because it's got pieces that are like 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I had finished my grandma's. I was caught up with my grandma's kitchen. I have to do blocks 6, 7, and 8. So I'm planning on cutting those out this weekend. One of my goals was to catch up on my, hold on one second. I just got to go across the room. I was wondering why this was sitting on top of this. It's sitting on top of this because I did this. So one of my goals is to keep up with my sew-alongs. So this is the Cotton Cuts Wild West. I did this on the 17th. So this is clue 7, and I made 2 of those. This is the art gallery bundle. I don't remember what it's called. Prairie, maybe? Something, I don't know. Songbird, something weird. Maybe this is Songbird. I don't know. I don't have my thing with me. Okay. Then, and I'm doing the small in both of these. And then I got clue 1 of the Flyaway. And this is a Moda fabric. And I'll be honest, I liked this one better than I like the Art Gallery is nice, but it's got a funky finish on it. Now this is a Moda line. I think this is called Cheddar. So there's this one. And I love this. This was clue 1 of that. So I got those caught up. So that's awesome. Then I had finished my wreath block. And my other goal for February is to work on my Cuddle Up sampler. Let me show you and I had all the blocks done, and I showed you the wreath block last time I did a video. This is the Cuddle Up sampler. So all my blocks are done. So now I had to cut all the sashing and the stuff to do the stars. So I cut everything out, and I have made all my sashing. So these are made. And these are made. So now all I need to do is make my sashing and assemble my blocks and put my borders and everything. So my goal this weekend, this puppy's getting assembled. This quilt top is getting done this week. I may even come down here. I probably come in here afterwards. And I have this on like one of these giant Lori Holt boards. Love it. So that's done. Then one of my other goals was I needed to quilt something on Miss Moxie. Now I was supposed to quilt something in January, and I was supposed to quilt something in February. So I was supposed to get 2 things done. I have this long list of quilts. Now I quilted this quilt. This quilt isn't even on the list I made, and I don't know why, but she's done, and she is one of my oldest quilts, and I love her. She's washed. I custom quilted this. I'm still a baby long armor, okay? I can meander like anything else, but this one I actually custom quilted, okay? And she's all washed. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I quilted and I bound her on, I started on Tuesday. I finished it yesterday and I put the binding on it. I put the binding on it yesterday. Okay. Now this is from the first ever Jolly Bar book. This is called the Jolly Bar Row Along. This fabric is called At Home and it's from Bonnie and Camille. Bonnie and Camille are not, Bonnie retired and Camille is Camille Ross Skelly. So you can still get her fabric. And this was from 2020 or 2020, because it was before I started this in my old house in New York. Okay. Now, it's not perfect quilting, but she's beautiful. She's got a lot of mistakes in it. She's mine. And I will tell you, after I washed her, I popped a seam, okay? So there was a pop seam here after she was washed, so I had to hand sew and stitch it back together. It's all good. She's my baby. I'm happy. I learned so much when I did this quilt. I think she was even quilted on 2 different machines. I rather pieced on 2 different machines, which is not something you're supposed to do. I didn't have perfect 1/4 inch seams, which is why this popped. My seams weren't flat, but she's mine. I love her. I love the colors. I have another quilt done with this fabric with a Jolly Bar. And funny thing is I had to piece the back, but where I pieced the back, I had to put extra borders because, okay, I had bought this for backing. When I did the quilt, I bought everything because that's what Kimberly Jolly says. If you're buying something, you have to buy everything. So I bought everything, but then I decided to put this extra border because theirs ended with this. And I was just like, it doesn't look finished. I don't like it. So I took my backing and I made a border, but then I was like, I don't have enough backing. Well, I had bought 2 different fabrics for binding. I had bought this and I had bought, I don't know if it's in here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I had bought this fabric with a white background, the cream background. So I used this and bordered each side, but when I wound up trimming the quilt, it all got trimmed off. So the back just is that. Then I'm looking at this and I'm like, I have a wrinkle in my quilt in the back. I have a wrinkle in my quilt. No, I don't have a wrinkle in my quilt. It's the seam going up the back. I don't generally piece my backs anymore for that reason. So I am so excited she's done. She's going to go on my quilts ladder as soon as I switch off my Valentine's Day quilts. So she is mine and I am so happy and I love her. If you know me, blue and red are my favorite colors. So, and she's a really nice size. I'm going to actually post a picture of this. I'm going to post a picture of this on my, at the end. It's actually, I think she's already on my Instagram. That or she's on my Facebook page. Okay. So, plans. What are my plans? Well, right now, I'm debating backing for my chicken salad quilt, and I have to decide what quilt I want to quilt next. But I'm going to actually do another video about that because yesterday Pat Sloan announced her March block-a-day quilts. So I thought it'd be fun because I would like to have you guys help me pick which fabric or if I should do it scrapping for March block a day. And then I'll show you my past March blocks a day. This is the 5th year. I've done every one. I have not necessarily always done them in March because in March I tend to go on vacation because my kids have always had spring break then. So, it's just been crazy. So let's talk about what I'm doing. So I'm debating a fabric for my chicken salad quilt. It's sitting in my cart at Fat Quarter Shop, along with a couple other pieces because I cut out my saltwater sampler, but I thought I had I cut the fabric wrong, so I don't have enough fabric. So now I'm having to buy some fabric, so I have enough fabric. That's the only thing. With this kit, I wish they had cut, Fat Quarter Shop's usually so good about this, is they show you how to cut it on the fabric, and they didn't have it. I should actually go see if there's a cutting guide on the website. Maybe I'll do that later. because I'd like to start that. I have the 3 blocks semi cut out, the first set, because you make 4 sets of 3 blocks. So I would like to move that forward. So there's that. So what is my next thing? So I put binding on the quilts. I quilted the Jolly Bar quilt. I made the backing, binding. So I've been really productive. I think I've done so good. So my next thing is, I thought I did block 5. Let's see. There's block 1, block 2, block 3, 4. Did I show you block 5? Well, this is block 5. So that's block 5. So I have to do I have to do 6, 7, and 8. Block 8 is an applique block, so I need to do that. I don't do a lot of applique, and I'm trying to embrace it more. I've been watching Red Velvet Quilts. She's a cross stitcher, and she's a long armor, and I want to be her when I grow up, even though she's younger than me. She does so much. She makes the most gorgeous. She's another one that makes the most gorgeous Lori Holt quilts. Oh, they're to die for. And she does the applique quilts with the So Simple shapes. Someday I'll try to do an applique quilt. I'm getting braver. I have no desire to English paper piece, but an applique quilt, I could see myself doing. And I should just ask my mother. My mother we had a pillow in our living room growing up of Sunbonnet Sue. So what am I going to work on? I would like to cut out. I want to do my candle block, so I've got all of January done. Gonna finish the Cuddle Up sampler, and then I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna move to Millie's dresses. Okay, here's the deal. I've got my list of quilts that need to be finished, and I have a bunch of Christmas quilts. I don't really want to do a Christmas quilt. So I have to look and see what is the closest to being done. I'm either gonna pick another Pat Sloan that only had 9 blocks. So I might do that because I have 4 of the blocks done. Or I'm going to do Millie's dresses. I would like to do Millie's dresses because I'm eyeing 2 quilts, Lori Holt quilt kits. And I don't really want to do another one. I don't want to spend the money on a quilt kit if I haven't finished. So we shall see. But I have the Ode to the National Parks, and I have 3 or 4 blocks done. So I may do that. I have Simply Jelly Rolls. Maybe I'll make another video about letting you guys, as soon as I'm done with the sampler, having you guys help me pick my next project. But what I'm going to do, my next, I'm going to cut all these out so I can do these. These are great and quick to do. I have my Designer Mystery on the way, block 8, and I have everything. I have to cut everything to do that one. That might just wait to the summer. Really might wait to the summer to put it all together. That, or what I can do is cut it all out, and then once the blocks are done, and to have it as a sew as you go. I know I'm rambling. But I have so much I want to do, and I was blessed to have this time off, so I'm not gonna complain. I am gonna load another quilt onto Miss Moxie. I've got a couple ideas, but I don't have any batting. My husband went to Walmart. I said I should have asked you to pick up a package of batting, and I could have at least quilted something else. But I have some batting that's not it's pieces. I should have enough to do something small. So if I have something to do something small, I have a couple that I can run through here, and I can watch videos while I do it, which I don't mind. I do cross hatch on my Juki, so it doesn't bother me. So let's write down what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, sorry guys. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to do Grandma's Kitchen. I have 3 blocks to do. Block 5, 6, and 7. And 7. I gotta cut them out. And actually I want to look at my fabric, since I have stuff in my Fat Quarter Shop cart. I may add a couple more like half yards of different prints, because there's just not, it's a great line, but it's not a huge variation. So I don't know. And then, so I might add a couple more half yards. We have to assemble, cuddle up. Okay, now let's look what else is on my list. Okay, and I need to do, well, my list is really, guys, my list is really good except for the vintage sampler. And the cut out the blocks for the saltwater sampler was a bonus if I got to it. And so I'm not really gonna stress about that one. Okay, so I've got that. And the block 9, I'm not gonna do, oh no, block 6, 7, 8, not 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. Now block 9, it comes out Wednesday. That'll just have to wait till the weekend. Okay, so let me tell you, the February blocks are no joke for vintage Christmas. So if I'm going to pick my fabric and I'm going to starch it. Meanwhile, somebody asked me about starching. So let me get into starching. I used to use Stay Flow. Okay, start back track. I starch because Kimberly Jolly always starched her fabric, and I always loved Tower blocks. I didn't used to starch, and I don't starch everything. These I don't generally starch, but I do use Best Press, so it's a light starch. It's not, these are not like paper. Now, my Cuddle Up is like paper. Okay, and I really didn't need to do the borders, but I wanted to wash all the same, so I did. So I was watching Kimberly and she always did, and I loved her blocks and I was learning how. So I was like, if Kimberly does and she has these beautiful quilts, I'm going to do it. Now that quilt I just showed you did not have a drop of starch in it. It was a Jolly Bar. Jolly Bars I don't starch, okay? I do use clappers, okay? I have several. This is, I got this one online. I got them all online. This is from something woodworking Kentucky. It's all handmade. He also makes for your floss bobbin winders too, and he does great work. And these are just so pretty. Okay, and then I have another one from Riley Blake. They all work great. I know people who just go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy this beautiful wood and just use that, and it works good. So back to the starching. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. I haven't talked to anybody in days besides my husband and my kids. So I used Faultless. It's in a white can with blue. And I used that. And then I was like, this stuff's expensive. I was trying to save, so I switched to Stay Flow. And I used half water, half Stay Flow mix. I loved Stay Flow. I am so sad they don't make Stay Flow anymore. I'm still crushed. So I'm back to using Faultless in the aerosol can. Not the best for the environment, but it is what it is. But I like how my fabric feels. If I'm doing something, I use Mary Ellen's Best Press, or I have some flatter I'm going to try. I haven't bought it on my own yet because I got free samples right now, and that's what I'm using right now. I know my quilt store, the Quilted Cow, carries flatter. So that's probably what I'm going to go in line with. I believe you can still get, Mary Ellen's, you could get, I know there are places that you can get it. I know that Joann's has it, but I know some people's Joann's are closing. My Joann's are staying open right now, but they're horrid. So that's how I starch, and I drench mine and I do it. They're all different things. Just remember, when you starch, your fabric's going to shrink. But it's a personal preference. If you like to do it, go ahead. So that's what I do. Anything I do Lori Holt, especially those little blocks, that stuff gets starched. Now, Lori Holt only uses Best Press. She doesn't make it like paper. And you can watch Kimberly Jolly, but I believe Kimberly Jolly got her method from Lisa Bonjean. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys because I hate binding. And I don't know, I've always had a problem binding. Okay, let's see if I can find where I bound this quilt. It's got to be over here somewhere. Okay. So my binding's here. Now, for the longest time, I have a couple quilts. I got the binding. I did it, no problem. Then I started having all these issues and I couldn't figure it out. And Layla Boutique. Who's Layla Boutique? Vanessa Gertzen had a tutorial. In fact, I ordered her and she showed it. Then this week, I watched a video from the APQS, American Patchwork and Quilting. And for some reason, their video just clicked and now I've done 2 bindings and they're perfect. So I don't really hate binding anymore. I do my binding on the machine. I don't care that my thread shows over here. You know, I have problems with my hands. I'm old. I'm in my 50s. You know what? It is what it is. So I am just so happy that my quilt is done. And that's what's going on with me. So I will probably be back on Sunday before I go back to work so I can show you everything else I've done, because I hope to have the rest of my grandma's kitchen blocks, another vintage Christmas. I hope to show you the Cuddle Up sampler top done. And I will be back again because I want to, probably tomorrow, because I want to show you my March day and have you guys help me decide before March is here, because March is next week. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying dry. I hope things are going great for you. If you could please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And I will talk to you all soon. All right, bye.